Live, everybody. Hannah Storm, along with the voice you just heard, the great Swagoo, Peter Strager, Jeff Darlington. These guys have been carrying the network all day long today, so this should be a good one. And we're going to start with Swagoo's Cowboys. The boys and the Rams are holding a joint practice today. Cowboys reporter Todd Archer is there, and he joins us now. So, Todd, yesterday we saw Micah Parsons back in that number 11 jersey for the first time since making his trade request. Not sure if that has any meaning at all as he continues to hold in. What can you tell us about the situation right now?
Yeah, Hannah, we know the baseball term, no runs, no hits, no errors, no trade calls, no talks on a new deal, no nothing. And we really don't know what will be the thing that thaws the ice between the two sides. I've asked around, and it's just where we are. And this is how long it's going to take, and nobody really knows. So then you have to play it out beyond this season. It's what could happen. He plays out the year in the fifth-year option. And then you're looking at the franchise tag possibility in 2026, in 2027, in 2028 maybe. So this might not be the last we've talked about. Certainly not the last. We've talked about Micah's contract. On the field, Brian Schottenheimer said, even where everything is right now, the Cowboys, the coaches are planning on everything with Micah, moving around the defense, getting him ready for the season, as if he will play September 4th against the Eagles. But so far, at least he's in his jersey, Hannah, like you said. But yesterday, no socks, or no shoes. I'm sorry, just socks.
No shirt, no shoes, no problem. Listen, the Cowboys got a big problem. Officially less than a month away from their opener against the Eagles. And this is a pattern, as we know. Jerry Jones has not been afraid to take extension talks down the wire. It took until August 24th of last year to get that deal done with CeeDee Lamb. It took all the way up until a couple of hours, remember, before opening kickoff to sign Dak Prescott to an extension. Both of them eventually were rewarded. Lamb is now the third highest paid wide receiver by average annual value. Dak is the highest paid quarterback, but there's a lot of pain and angst to get there. And Marcus Spears is right in the middle of it. Swagoo, you just heard Todd Archer say, no, nothing. There is nothing going on. How concerned are you?
I'm concerned, but I'm concerned, Hannah, from the football standpoint of things. Like, we've seen contract disputes. We've seen them go all the way to your point, like you talked about Dak, all the way up until hours before a game. And initially, I was going to have this crazy reaction to Micah demanding a trade and all of that. And my mind shifted right back to Myles Garrett and how he demanded a trade and ended up being the highest paid. So it could be a negotiating tactic. The problem is that this is 3 now summers in a row where Dallas has had their face of their franchise unsigned, not participating in team activities. And we're talking about a team with a new head coach, in Micah's case, a new defensive coordinator in Eberflus, and we don't have the best player, one of the top 5 defensive players in the NFL on the field to get things going. Therein lies my issue. Like the contract stuff, we could talk for 3 hours about how bad and mishandled this has been, from getting him signed earlier, giving you flexibility to do other things, all the way up until this war of words in the media, seemingly between Micah and Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones more so than anybody. It's a bad situation, and I don't know if money is going to fix the relationship. And I know a lot of people, well, he gonna get paid, everything will be fine, he'll just play football. But when you're counting on a guy like Micah to be the leader of your team, to be one of the faces of your franchise, and even though he has money in his pocket, he may feel unsupported, that could be an issue within the locker room, and which can permeate and translate to on the field. And it's always been that for me. The way Jerry handles business affects the actual play of football when the games start. And that is something I've been screaming for a number of years when it comes to Dallas.
Yeah, I 100% see the comparison to Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. And I'll go back to Ezekiel Elliott a few years before even Dak got his money, in that Jerry does wait till the last second. But I also got the feeling Jerry loved Ezekiel Elliott. Even when Zeke was in Cabo, like, Jerry loved Zeke. That was his guy. Took him 4th overall. That was his guy. Jerry loves Dak. And Jerry loves CeeDee Lamb. I don't get the feeling Jerry Jones loves Micah Parsons. At no point over the last 12 months has there been any sort of roses, flowers, bouquets thrown his way, or any confidence that you get that this relationship is something that is akin to those other ones. I get the feeling that he felt he had a deal with Micah Parsons, maybe against his better judgment, because I didn't even feel like when we were hearing that there was some great fondness for the two. I don't think he respects the agent. I don't think he respects hearing about the agent. I certainly don't think he respects hearing us on ESPN all day saying how great the agent is. And I think Jerry's a businessman and he wants to win this one. So I don't think this is as clean as, you know what, 11:59 a.m., kickoff weekend, Adam Schefter's going to come on and say, breaking news, Micah agreed, and everyone's going to say, yeah, we knew. I think this one gets a little hairier, and this might not be the only time both sides are talking out publicly about each other.
I hear both of you. I just think that Jerry Jones loves sacks, and I think that Micah Parsons loves money. And I think that that's what it's come down to for both of them. Swaggle, you were talking about the idea of negotiations and is this just a negotiation tactic, the idea that he put out the trade request? I say absolutely yes. Anything that is done in public is a negotiating tactic. You don't say that you want to be traded if you actually do. You go behind the scenes and do things quietly for the team to leverage it the best way possible. In this case, to me, this says, I do want to be here and I want you to pay me so that I don't have to leave. And Jerry Jones is saying the same types of things. I just believe that ultimately it will get done at the end of the day. Maybe I'm being too naive about this. I just think that one person in Jerry Jones loves production, and I believe that one person in Micah Parsons loves money, and that's what gets this done.
Well, we'll see if he can do business as usual, speaking of Jerry Jones. And it's really too bad because if this wasn't an issue, we'd be talking all about Dak coming back, getting a receiver on the other side of CeeDee Lamb. I mean, this narrative would be completely different. All right, let's talk about the team that they are scrimmaging against here, the Rams, because they actually had a signing today. JD, what happened?
Yeah, Kieran Williams, the running back, signing 3 years, $33 million, which is a really big deal for the Rams, but it's also a big deal across the landscape of the NFL. This is obviously important, especially when you see $23 million guaranteed. Again, very important for this Rams team, but we can also flip this over to what is happening in Buffalo right now with James Cook as an unexpected holdout from practice, a hold-in at training camp to the surprise of Brandon Beane. With James Cook seeking that contract, this could be exactly what he needs to be able to go back to Brandon Beane and say, all right, this deal with Williams got done. Now we have a little bit more of a blueprint for how this can happen. I think this made Williams the highest paid running back. We're not talking about any kind of market-setting deal here. So this kind of helps everybody understand where the market is. We'll see. Maybe this allows Cook to get his deal done as well.
Yeah, he had triple the touchdowns last season that he did the year before, 6 the year before, 18 last year. So we'll see if Williams helps to set that market. Meanwhile, another joint practice going on today between the Colts and the Ravens. Now, Lamar Jackson was excused from practice yesterday, but he was there today. The two-time MVP coming off his best passing season with career-high numbers, runner-up MVP, but has yet, of course, to reach the Super Bowl. Here he is on the cusp of his 8th season.
I feel like our offense is always room for improvement. The camp it can be, we have good days, we have bad days, we have okay days, we have great days, but I feel like it's always room for improvement. We right where we need to be right now. We don't see these guys every day, we get to see different looks from different guys, different type of coverages, see how different guys guard different people, different blitzes and stuff like that. So definitely, we get a lot out of these type of joint practices.
And when it gets going for real, they're going to be tested early and often. The Ravens open the season where last season ended for them in Buffalo. Then in weeks 3 and 4, they play the Lions and the Chiefs, who each ended last year with 15-2 records. And then in weeks 5 and 6, they face the Texans and the Rams. Each of those teams won a playoff game last season. So that's 5 playoff teams in their first 6 games. But we know that the Ravens have one of the most complete rosters, top to bottom, in the NFL. So, Schrags, are you confident that they can start strong with that schedule?
Remember, they were about a millimeter shy of potentially beating the Chiefs.